A plane carrying NBA stars has been hit by a UFO during a Chicago descent. Hey, what's up guys? Tyler here with Secureteam. Well, that is the headline of a few different news reports, mainly one from RT.com, speaking of a collision, a mid-air collision with something unknown that almost head-on struck the nose of an airliner that was carrying the basketball team of the Oklahoma City Thunder, who were caught up in this bizarre mid-air incident. This was a charter plane that, according to the reports here, was traveling at around 30,000 feet, struck by an unidentified object on its way to Chicago, which was then forced to land. The collision occurred Saturday morning during the team's flight to Chicago Midway ahead of their game against the Chicago Bulls. Pictured after landing, the Delta Airlines Boeing 757-200's nose was seen badly dented and scratched. After disembarking, NBA stars, including Carmelo Anthony and Josh Hustis, among others, took to social media, posting pictures saying, quote, "What possibly could we have hit in the sky at this time of night?" And then we have another posting, quote, "I guess we hit something, 30,000 feet up, ... Baffled sinner Steven Adams even took to Twitter to ask NASA, television personality and engineer Bill Nye, and renowned astrophysicist Neil deGrasse Tyson, asking what caused this. In a statement to the Oklahoman, Delta Airlines moved to quash speculation by saying that the plane likely came into contact with a bird. Now, they have no proof of this, there's no actual evidence that it was a bird, but, of course, that's what they're saying, and a lot of people are pointing to just the sheer impact of whatever the object was that struck the nose cone and the scratching of paint off of it, which you would think would be caused by a more rigid or tough or hard object capable of scratching paint off like this. And again, another thing that strikes me as strange is, again, it was late at night, it was 30,000 feet in the air, and most birds don't go up that high. There are a few select species that do fly at their highest point up around 25, 26, 27, and some just around 30,000 feet, again, at their very highest. But most birds you will see flying at 15,000 feet, 17,000 feet, 20,000 feet, but with very few mid-air collisions at 30,000, because again, there's just not a lot of birds that fly that high. And this reminds me of some other planes that have been hit throughout the years. I did a report on one that was hit in China a year or so back, and in some of these cases where they've been struck in China, the pilots have described the objects as glowing. And obviously, I don't know of any bird that glows. Do you guys? If so, let me know, because that'd be a first for me. And the photographs of the China crashes look almost identical to what we're seeing here. Again, with the nose cone being hit, paint scraped off. In some cases, there'll be scrapes on the bottoms of the planes. Like something rigid scraped against it or struck it. And obviously, UFO incidents in the air, especially by pilots, are nothing new. They've been happening for years now. In fact, one of the biggest and probably one of the main UFO incidents that I would point to, if somebody said, okay, Tyler, name me a UFO case that is so solid in its evidence that it would prove to me that these craft exist and that we are being visited. And 9 times out of 10, I myself and many others would point you to the Japan Airlines Flight 1628 incident that occurred on November 17th, 1986, after a Japanese Boeing 747 en route from Paris to Tokyo encountered a couple, actually, of massive flying saucer-shaped objects, described in detail by the pilots of the plane, captured on multiple radar systems and flight control centers. I mean, this case is corroborated by countless people. All of the evidence is there. They encountered something up there. And you'll see videos about this. Here you're seeing a photograph or a rendition of one of the crafts that they saw that was so giant it dwarfed the 747. The sighting lasted for about 50 minutes. And again, it's one of the most solid concrete cases proving that these beings are visiting us, they're in our skies, they are being witnessed by pilots all over. And by the way, these pilots and these airline companies are told to keep their mouths shut. Mainly the pilots, by the airlines. And I have solid proof of this myself, because recently there was a channel that was operated by a friend of mine who was the manager of a corporate fleet of jets, who had posted some riveting UFO footage captured in flight, and who was later forced to shut down his channel and end all contact after his boss and the airlines threatened his job if he did not stop talking about the UFOs and the footage he had captured. And so they are always told to say it's a bird. Now, sometimes, of course, that is the case. I mean, birds strike planes. But even when they don't, they are told to say, well, it was just birds, and there's nothing more we can say about it. Go on about your merry day. So, again, interesting story. Let me know what you guys think down below. Share this video, and I'll see you guys back here in just a bit.